Adversary. Adversity. Noun. Meaning difficulties, misfortune, resilience. In the face of adversity. Adversity is the word that we relate to the story of the koi fish. The legendary koi fish fighting against the Yellow River until it makes its way up the great waterfall and becomes the golden dragon. How can we take that story and convey it in a vinyl wrap? I'm Scott Keppel, and this is Skepple Inc. I do custom wrap design for vehicles all over the globe. All vehicle types, all shapes and sizes, all kinds of styles. You wouldn't believe some of the things that I've been asked to create over the years. That moment you find the hentai you've been looking for 3 days. One of the most standout projects of this year for me was one that was partnered up with VRD Customs. Mark hit up Skepple Inc. for a custom wrap design for his C63S that would portray the quality of his work as a wrap installer, but also convey a story. So being a kind of a one-man show, he wanted to show the adversity that he's overcome in his own business. Notice that I used our keyword there. Adversity, yay. But I could really relate to that. So after having the project for way too long and being late on it for a while, and both of us knowing that it's kind of the thing where when it's a custom drawn art piece, it's not always something that you can just start on. It's kind of, where do you start? What's it going to look like? You get to envision so much before you even put the pen to paper. So we wanted to make sure that it was telling the right story, conveying the right message, but it turned out really cool. The cool thing with Mark was he really gave me the creative freedom to come up with anything I wanted. So this was a project that he really let me kind of experiment with materials and kind of push my own boundaries a little bit. And I've learned so much from this one project that it's something that at least I see in every wrap afterwards, as far as like the way that I'm setting up projects. And one of the really cool things about this was we wanted to make something that was really unique that has never been seen before, using vinyl wrap material itself and more than just the print. So let's take a look at some of the behind the design side, how it was set up, what it looked like, and what those layers were. And it's not really a how-to, but it's more of a just kind of a showing and kind of an understanding of the project. And it's just a really cool project that Mark and I will have and share for, that sounds, thank you, Mark. But it's a really cool project. Sorry, I'm not used to being in front of a camera yet. Oh, it's over on this shoulder. I don't know why. It seems like I can only really record YouTube videos at night. Is that like a thing? Something wrong with me? Why do I get so social but not social? I'm talking to a computer, but why do I get so social at night? It's kind of weird. Let's dive in. The Mercedes-Benz AMG 2019 C63S boasts 503 horsepower and 516 foot-pounds of torque. That means, while looking as good as this car does, it hauls ass. 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds, no doubt, and a standing quarter mile in 11.9 seconds as per car driver. And so with such a proper car, creating a one-of-a-kind piece of art was mandatory. I drew my koi and my dragon in all separate sections so I can use them as separate layers throughout the wrap as elements instead of one single art piece, which was smart, but drawing all these scales was kind of a mistake. I felt like they looked a little sloppy and rushed, and knew that to make them all even by hand, was gonna be a very long period of time, and it wouldn't look as good as if I just create brand new ones from scratch in Vector. So I made the scale, made the pattern out of the scale, and made the whole new scale set pattern for the entire car. I remember my original idea for the background was going to be like a bunch of like the traditional waves, and then I thought about how they do the tattoos when they do waves with like koi, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to flow with the body with that. So I took smart shapes and I used the pen tool in Photoshop and made waves, and I used an inner and outer glow to make a nice gradient inside of them. I was able to use the elements from the dragon to give it the look of depth and going through the waves. So and that's why I said it was smart that I broke it up into pieces instead of drawing one big ass dragon. I do keep the material in mind while I'm doing this kind of art, but I don't worry about it too much because I know I can always break it up later. But I try to focus solely on that artwork first. What's this? Come on. We gotta do all these. And so we must begin again, starting with the waves. I kept all the shading for the dragon on separate layers because I'm going to use them in a print file separately later on. I do all of my coloring and shading with the basic soft round brush, nothing crazy. And I like to over color or overdraw things and erase stuff away, so if you see it get like cloudy and then it straightens out, that's why. I don't know, I've never really been inside the lines. But the basic layout was there from like this point. Like it was really just a matter of figuring out how to break this down into print files and utilize the gold as gold without it being just as decal on top of the wrap. It's probably important to note that I've been getting a little bit ballsy with my lineups, but I did keep it somewhat safe at the trunk with it being solid pink, and then the hood transition being pretty much solid black, and then the wave starts right at the hood line, which you'll see once we go a little farther. The thing with these designs is sometimes I get so into them that I just keep messing with all these random things, and I know that it's nothing that will ever be noticed, but I end up just like tweaking like one little spot for a while, and then I'll move into another spot and I'll tweak that. You get so lost in these things sometimes that you run out of time. Yeah, you don't want to go crazy and make people wait forever, but you never want to deliver something that's less than you would want yourself, at the very least. Since the dragon was in a window, I kind of just had a way to move him around, and I can kind of adjust if needed, but it was also nice because when I went to go to the other side, I took my koi and I was able to just kind of place them and rework my pieces around it. It was still like missing something when it was all ready after that though. Mark had the idea of adding lily pads and hibiscus, and it was a great idea. So I made some flowers and I made some lily pads, and I did a few different color variations and pulled them into the wrap as accents kind of all around. And it really did a good job of bringing everything to life. I think the additional aqua coloring and purples and pinks, like just, they're so loud and obnoxious, it's just, you can't miss it. Here's where I was adjusting the wave by the fender so that it would just have a black transition. So the wave ends right at the body line, and then the next wave is actually on the body line of the hood. And we worked together to do the hard template of the car. So sometimes from the proof to get it ready for print, I'll have to do a small adjustment just because the car and the proof is shaped different than how the car is actually shaped. So I'll make a small adjustment and then I'll add in my bleed by going as extreme as possible. So I'll extend the graphics and I'll actually add more so that it can be pulled and you know, manipulated in whatever directions the installer needs to do it in. It's probably one of the most intense designs I've ever done. There's so much to it. It's crazy. Like looking at it now, I can't even believe I made this. The way that the print files were set up on this one was kind of tricky. So you have the Avery Dennison gold chrome, and then you have reflective after that die cut into those scales, and that's what goes underneath the main wrap, so it's embossed. And then on Avery Dennison's Diamond series is printed the design with the gold sections die cut out of it and carefully lined up to the gold print file underneath to show just the shading and the gold coming through. So it's a little bit stacked of a wrap, but the end result's just really cool because at first it looks like one solid piece, and then when you get up closer, you start to see that shine and the gold just like pops and you see yourself in it. It's crazy. Oh my God. You can see yourself in him. In the koi, you see yourself. So through your adversity, you can overcome. Wow. I gotta say, it was a lot more straightforward than it felt like it was. Like, it was just a lot. It's not that at the end of the day, it was like the craziest setup in the world. It's just that it was a lot of setup. It was a separate cut file for the scales that go in front of the claw, the scales that go on the quarter panel, the drawing of the koi individually, the drawing of the dragon in separate sections, the drawing of the flowers, the coloring of everything, the shading of everything. It's just a lot of time. All in all, it came together perfect. I hope that you guys enjoyed seeing a little bit behind it, but yeah, I mean, that's all I got. I mean, this is all the video I took, so that's what you get. Yep, it's morning. Shout out to VRD Customs. Thank you so much for your business. It's time to get the day started. Let's get going. If you enjoyed the video, please like it. If you want to see more, please subscribe, and I promise I'll deliver. Thank you.